Alright, good afternoon and welcome to this tutorial video on how to create a cross section in ArcMap. And for those who have been following this tutorial video, we know we started with a series of videos that really helped us get grounded in the basics of the applications of ArcGIS Studio Sciences. And in this video, basically we're just looking at how we create cross section, to go along with our geological map. So the very first thing we do once we want to create cross section first is we must first have our geologic map, and which has been created, as you can see on my screen. You can see a picture of a created geologic map. It's just one of the recent work I did for someone from Jos. And after you made your geologic map, for those who have learned with us, that learned from how to, all the 4 weeks training that we created, how to create geologic map from the scratch, and how to create recreate from previous geologic maps. So you would have known how we came across all of these. So we're going to go heads in on how to create a cross section from this for this geologic map you're seeing on my screen. And we actually need the DEM data, that's the digital elevation model for this data, and that is required so that we can generate you know the profile. The profile actually means what is the elevation differences across the geological areas that is under study. So what we'll do, we'll first add up our we're going to add up our um, DM data. I'm going to remove this because I've added this before. So for those who watched the how to download DM data, I told you once you downloading DM data, you download it based on your coordinates coverage. As you can see on this lower screen part, you see this coverage is 8 to 9. So this map it has two coordinate coverage. You have 8 to 9 and to 10. So that means two DMs cover this area. But we're going to be using one DM because what we're going to be inferring is just above. And so let's add our first DM, which is the 10.8. So go to add data, go to your file, add data, click on add data, and then we're going to first add our 10.8, which is the upper part. And like I said, is latitude, so it increases upwards. These are first data, and then let's add our second 9.8 to for me to show you why this area has 2DM data. So you click on add again and then go to add 9.8. So this is 9.8 here. Right click and then click on this and click enter. So you see there are 2DM here. But if you understand that the lower parts we cannot infer because it's just a single rock type. And for the other parts, we can create a cross section line to cut across the rocks so that we can have a better view of what the cross section of that geologic area requires. So we're going to turn off this 9 and 8. Just turn it off. There's a reason why. So once you turn it off, we want to work with the 10 and 8, which is the upper part, and we'll get our results well. And before we do this, for you to create your profile line, your cross section line, you will need to go to customize, go to your toolbar, ensure that 3D analyst is selected. So once you ensure that it's selected, you can place it on your toolbar. Place it on your toolbar arrangement. Like for those who watch the setting up the work environment, we show that you have to arrange all of this. So ensure it's set up. And so once you see, if you click on this drop down, you notice on the 3D analyst option, you have your 2DM, as an option, selectable option. So we're not working with 9 and 8. So we ensure that our 10 and 8 is the one that is selected. Ensure that is the one in the box that shows that it's selected. So once it's selected like that, you come to this drop down here which shows toolbar option. Click the drop down and then you go to select interpolate line. Interpolate line means we want to draw a line across this area which is going to read the elevation data of that area. So once we click interpolate line, we click on it and then we come here, and since from a basic background geological knowledge that cross section cut across all the major rocks observed in the area, I'll come here and then I select a line that cut across the rock. So let me click this, and then I go to this place and just get it like this, and right click here. So understand that, you know, so these are the line cut across is your AB, and you've created your cross section line. So with this, what this does to us is that it helps us to generate the profile. How will the profile look like? You're going to go back to this toolbar option. Sorry about that. Go back to the toolbar option, and then um, you go to this option saying that shows profile graph and profile point. So you're going to click profile this graph. So we're trying to generate, the elevation data that falls within this area that we just worked on. So once you do this, you're going to expand. You're going to expand there, ensure that you align it, and then I usually advise that once you do this, you ensure that you reduce your elevation to the barest minimum. So once you do that, just keep you stable. So now we've done this. So this is this here. So for us, because these are boundaries, we need to infer the boundaries across this area. So to infer the boundary, we want to first come here, click on this line. You're going to create another line on top of this, and then you go and then click this, allow it to be on top that same line. So once you do that, you go back to that line, click on the drop down, click on marker. So you're going to use the marker to select the boundary. Right, for me here, I select here, I'll click first one, I'll go back here, I click my second boundary here. That means that's the contact point between the two rock types. And I click here to contact point between these two rock. I come here, I click here, the contact point between these two rock, and I click here, I click this contact point between these two rock, and yes, we're good and set to go. So once you've done this, you go and you click on this and click copy this graphic. And for those who are graphics that have an idea of graphics, you enjoy this way, because the next step, you're going to be using a third-party app, which is CorelDRAW. I usually use CorelDRAW for my work to do my, because it's more faster and you can easily do. So I go to CorelDRAW, and then I'm going to delete this, and then I'll paste that graphics here. And so when I paste it here, when I paste this here, I'll click say to fit. I want it to fit. So once you paste this here, this becomes an editable graphics. You can right click on these, on group, and then you delete all of these that are not essential. You delete this, you delete the, just can delete this. There are some lines within that you need to delete. Delete this also. And then I usually say we're going to extend this, because we're going to be applying our colors that we need to be smart about. So select this, ensure it doesn't touch the baseline. So once you select this, you group them, and then you come here, you press your shift, and then expand this, not too much, just expand it to cross the line. So when you expand that, you come there, select this, you group, and then you can control C, control V, and then you can move it down to this side. So just to be fast about that, I will carry it here and drop it along this line. So once I drop that line, I'm going to ungroup it so that I can turn this one. I can reflect. I come back here, and then I'll tell it to mirror it. I'll mirror it to face the other side, and then adjust this, then bring this to this side to balance, because our both sides, these values are saying 1200, 1500 shows the elevation across the area. So now we're getting set for our work to be fully done. Ensure you save your work here, and we need our boundary data for our rock. So you're going to go back to ArcMap, right click, and then This our point, this our line we selected. We're going to select everything and then press Ctrl C. You copy it, and once you copy it, go back to CorelDRAW and then you paste. So you can see that line being pasted. And once you paste it, you arrange, ensure you adjust this line, to start from that the beginning of this line here. You can see this line here. So ensure you see that on the same page there. So you ensure this one, falls within that line also. So once it falls like that, you come back here. This, you can adjust this to, just up a little bit. Just up a little bit. Once it's up a little bit, it's not, if it's too much, you just have to take it down and then just to make it have a balanced line. And then once you do that, you go back and then click here and drag it, to the same, end margin of this. This place you have to be very careful because your raw outcrop must fall within the same boundary that aligns with the rock. And so for this now, let me delete this off. Delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. So now, with this our boundaries here, and then you take a line, come to this edge, you can drag the line out. This is your first boundary, second one, second boundary here. Let's bring it to the center of the circle. Take the third one, take the fourth one. So it's very interesting once you know how to do all this process with this work. And for those who will be needing CorelDRAW, I'll be sharing a link, or you can request for a link on how to download CorelDRAW for those that will be requiring it. So once you've done this, is to you just take a rectangular shape, rectangular, to click on it, then you create a line. Let's create a line here. So this is a line here. So the first line, you take it here. Second line, you can duplicate it, use Ctrl D, you bring it here, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. So you're creating a boundary. So when you create a boundary like that, the next is to click on yours. Go to this option, Smart Fill tool. You can click the drop down. Click on Smart Fill. We want to apply our color scheme. So once we click on Smart Fill, ensure that you follow this process because there are some areas you're going to find it that once you click a Smart Fill, it will not fill smartly. So I'll click here. I'll click the first one. So you see that it fills up that area with a color, and I'll need to apply the right color to this area. So since that place is granite, that's our first place. This first area here, this first area is granite. We'll click on the granite color. This is granite color here. I'll click on this. I'll ensure that I fill both the fill and the line as as that same color. I'll come to the next place. I'll fill this. Let's check what that is on our map. The second place is our bar so, and this is the color here. I'll fill both the fill and the outline with bar color. So the next is the pigmatite. Now this is the pegmatite color. I'll fill both the fill and the line. You're going to right click and left click on that same color so that you fill both the fill, that's the fill color, and then the outline color with it. So the next here, let's click on this and then check what is it. Our migmatite, that's our mixed rock. It has near granite, near nice kind of texture like that. And this is the color here. Right click and then left click on it to give it that color. And then the next one is our granite back again. Our granite back again. So go back. So it shows here is our granite again. And so you apply the color of granite, right click and left click, and then click the last one So we're having this issue. So this issue came up because this space was not smartly covered. So you're going to write Control Z and then select on rectangle. So we want to restrict that color selection within that place we're supposed to fill. So just use that right rectangle tool, you know, create a box that cover that area. Ensure it's not outside, it's within. And then you click on your smart tool back. Once you click on smart tool, you will then select. See that now it fill it too, and then you apply what rock type color is there. Your nice, your nice. So your nice is this light brown color. Right click and left click. So we are getting there. Then you delete this. We don't need this. You select all of this. Then press shift down, select it, shift down, select shift down, select, and then you delete this because we don't need that. This you can move this down, you can move this down. So just move it down. This you just delete it. Yeah, so we're getting started with our main work. Let's just select something here, and then we apply no line. That what I selected is that that line that shows the profile. That's what I selected there, and then I'll apply. I don't want it to show. I'll click no outline. So you see it's coming out very fine now. So I can select all of these colors, all of this my outcrop information, and then I'll send to the back. I'll right click. I'll say send order to back of layer. So I want, so you see that now the line came out, making it look fine. So let's go back uh to ArcMap. So while getting close, we need to apply our ground distance. If you are going up, they are also working laterally. So we want to look at how is going to be land distance. This is going to be in our land distance. So from here you can cancel this. You don't need this anymore. Just save this, and you can don't just be careful with deleting. You can just delete this marker point because it's not required. Then you change your view from data view to layer view. Turn off your DEM first, turn it off, and then you change view. So once you change view, you can see I have my layout already here. And so I'm going to increase my scale. I want my map to have a much better scale. I'm going to increase my scale. Let me put it at 1 to 25 for instance to see if it's not too much. So 125 is this actual scale. But if I use 1 to 25, I will not have space to fill my my cross section. So I'm going to increase this to 1 to 35,000 first. So once I fill up to 135, I can adjust my my grids to fit in to the aspect. So now, my grid is adjusted line. I can bring my scale up. I can bring my scale up to fill all of this. And remember we're trying to get the grand scale of that area. So just adjust this and ensure that you create space for your cross section under your map. I'm just trying to balance it here. Most times you can do a nice work, but if it's not arranged neatly, it's not going to really come out well. So once I do this, I'm going to insert a scale bar that is easily editable. So I'll go to my insert, I'll go to scale bar. So there's this scale type. You have to look for this type of scale type on your listing that should ask this line. So for me, I already saved it as a template because I always use it every time. So I'll click on this. You can see it around. This is it here. This is the scale here. This is the scale here. So I already edited it to my own format. So if you check my properties, if you click on it, so I come to my scale and ensure that number of division is 4, number of subdivision is 0. I ensure that this one is not turned on. I said when resizing, adjust division value the unit should be in kilometers. You can change it to meters depending on the the size of the area. Just follow these properties you see here to create your own and then save it. And then frequency divisions, position should be above bar, gaps is 3.6, the frequency only division, position above bar, and then look at it. So just look at, as I look at my screen, you can follow it to create your own and then save it as a template. And then I click apply, I click OK. For me, when I select my scale bar, I click OK. Initially there's a scale bar there, but I'm using this scale bar to what, to create, I want this to generate my distance on the map. So once I do this, it's easy for me to drag this across the map to get my area, done at this point. Coming. So sometimes you just have to do this gently. So see that it takes some times to arrive at your destination using this. So it's having an expansion for me. Let's try with this scale bar first if we can arrive at something tangible. So that's giving us the same. Trying to expand more. So you just have to just relax and then ensure you arrive at something that you can use. So it's not every time it's balanced out. So we can use this. We copy this, copy it. Once you copy it, you come to your current draw. So just the way you paste Control V. So you see that it's pasted on your screen. So the very first thing you do is you're going to drag this to align with your boundary. Once you do that, so you're going to use technique here. You're going to bring this and then it stops at somewhere around here. Let's go back to our map. Let's check where it stopped. So you see it stopped. I'm going to take your marker and then click here, the same line, or you can click here. You want to look at where did that line stop, where did this 8 stop.